What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to wax your snowboard using the right tools, doing it the best way, and doing it the right way. I'm going to show you exactly what I use and what you need to wax your board too. Let's jump right into it. Alright, so first things first, I'll tell you the things that I use to wax my snowboard. Start off, I don't have a regular snowboard waxing iron. You could get one of those, they're pretty expensive. Instead, I bought the cheapest iron you could buy from Walmart. It's probably like 10 bucks. I'll see if I could throw a link in the description. But yeah, you can use any iron. You might not get the best overall heating, but if you're just using it for your snowboard, you'd be pretty good. All right, next thing, the wax. I use all temperature wax. You can get specific waxes for your different locations, but I snowboard in Jersey most of the time, so it can go from being 60 degrees one day to 28 degrees the next. So all temperature wax is what I use. I'll throw a link for that in the description. Next thing, edge sharpener. You don't need this, but I like to have this. It's the Swix edge sharpener. That's all I know about it. Yeah, it looks like that. Finally, your scraper. You can get these pretty cheap, Amazon, anywhere really. Just something to scrape the wax off at the end. So let's get into it. So first things first, you're gonna wanna take your bindings off the board. You really should do this. I don't always do it because I'm lazy, but I'm gonna do a nice wax today. So I'm gonna be unscrewing my bindings off my board. One tip, just don't forget where you had your bindings. I do that all the time, then I have to find the exact spot again. So remember that. So your next step is going to be to wash the base. You want to get this as clean as possible because a clean base means a better wax. I just eyeball it. Your next step is going to be to get your iron nice and warm and then start rubbing it on the board. I like to get my board warm before I put the wax on there, so that way it starts to even take it in the beginning. So once I feel it start to heat up, obviously don't touch it, put your hand over it. But once you feel it start to heat up, you're going to start rubbing it around. Just heating up the base of your board. So now that the base of the board is a little bit warmer and your iron is all heated up, you're gonna start dripping wax onto the board. You can do this one of two ways. The way I like to do it is I like to hold the iron upside down, put the wax against the base and press until it starts dripping onto the board. And then you could also do that and then occasionally heat up the wax and then rub it on the board as well. And it leaves a good marking across it. You can't really put too much wax in certain areas to have a good amount of wax dripped on there, so that way you can get them nice and full wax on the base. Contact points would be so like near the nose and the tail, right near the edges is a really hot spot for needing wax. So apply a healthy amount to the base and you'll be good to go. All right, so that's looking like a good amount of wax on there. And once it looks like this, you got a good amount of wax and all over the board. You can start to rub it in. One thing to make sure of while you're waxing the board is to never stop moving the iron. If you leave it in one place too long, you can start to burn the bottom of the board. So I go with small circles. If you need to get into like a smaller section, just wiggle it around a little bit, but just make sure you never stop moving the iron. You know you're good when you start looking at the board and it starts to get this smooth coated surface on it. It'll look a little liquidy and glossy at first, and as it starts to dry, it'll look like a smooth coating. And you want to try and get that smooth coating throughout the whole board. Oh, and if you ever need extra wax in certain areas, just go ahead and throw it on there. Once you finish waxing the whole snowboard and it's got a nice coating across it, you're gonna let it sit and cool off for a little bit. You can touch it, it'll feel pretty warm. You wanna let it sit, relax, and let all of the wax get absorbed into the base of the snowboard. Dude, it's so weird. This is what makes me have fun. An expensive plank. All right, so putting my hands on it now, the board's nice and cool. So we're gonna go ahead and start scraping the wax off. On the scraper, you have this little side piece. This corner right here is used for the edges to get any of the wax off the rails of the snowboard. All right, so the next thing I like to do is go ahead and sharpen the edges up on the snowboard before I pull the wax off the rest of the board. All right, so the next thing you're gonna do is go ahead and take your scraper and we're gonna start scraping the wax off the board. While you're waxing the snowboard, you're gonna wanna make long, smooth strokes to make sure you get all the wax up and put some pressure in so you can pull up a decent amount in one stroke. Once you get all the wax off, the last step is gonna be to take a brush and you're supposed to go through the board all the way across it in the direction in which you're riding to create channels for the water molecules to travel through to generate more speed on the mountain. Alright, bindings are back on the board. Everything's done. You got a nice, fresh, clean wax on the bottom. I'll be flying on the mountain next time I head out there. If you enjoyed the video or if it helped you out in any way, be sure to leave a like, comment something interesting, and subscribe for more snowboarding content. Thanks for watching. Peace.